If you are looking for survival games, you are in the right place. Without wasting time, we already start the list with DayZ Frostline, the new expansion for the popular survival game DayZ. Players will face new challenges related to the cold, which will require careful management of resources and survival in adverse conditions. In addition to the already known survival mechanics, players will have to deal with the harsh weather and the dangers it brings, such as the need to stay warm and search for supplies in a hostile environment. Next up is Ark 2, a survival and adventure game developed by Wildcard, the same team behind the success of Ark Survival Evolved. Ark 2 promises an engaging narrative, with charismatic characters and surprising twists. Follow the journey of Santiago, a legendary hero played by Vin Diesel in his quest to protect his daughter. Developed with Unreal Engine 5, Ark 2 promises cutting-edge graphics with lush environments and hyper-realistic dinosaurs. Additionally, the game will feature new gameplay mechanics and progression systems. The Last Plague Blight is a survival game that promises an authentic and immersive experience focused on realism. Developed by Original Studios, which is composed of a single developer, the game will be released in early access on Steam on October 3rd, 2024. Players will face the dangers of a brutal open world where they must take care of their well-being while dealing with numerous threats and challenges. The game is set in a procedurally generated environment, full of diseases and dangers, and players will have to uncover the origins of a mysterious disease known as Blight. Light No Fire is an upcoming adventure, survival, and exploration game developed by Hello Games, the same creators of No Man's Sky. Light No Fire is set on a fantasy planet the size of Earth, offering an open world full of adventures for players to explore. Hello Games describes the game as a combination of RPG depth with the freedom of a survival sandbox. The game presents challenges that require players to manage their resources, find food and water, and protect themselves from dangers. Survival is a crucial element to progress in the game.
Wake up every morning, make a good impression on your boss. Don't do anything that I wouldn't do. And when you're making money, make sure you don't spend it too soon. Fuck that, I'll do what I wanna do. I got a different path from everyone, and that includes you. Who are you to tell me how to live life? In these times it feels like nobody's right, yeah. So I'ma figure out what else we succeed, and then invest all of my time into that and proceed.
POLYARIS is a first-person survival game developed by Magic Pie Games, set in a post-nuclear Arctic world generated procedurally. The game is scheduled to be released in the first quarter of 2025 for PC. In POLYARIS, you take on the role of a polar explorer in a hostile and freezing world where the struggle for survival is constant. The weather in POLYARIS is dynamic and unpredictable, with a full cycle of day and night, sub-zero temperatures, and intense snowstorms. To survive, you will need to seek shelter, light fires, and equip yourself with thermal clothing. Every heat source will be crucial in the battle against extreme cold.
Tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. Guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray.
Renown is a multiplayer survival game set in a vast medieval world in constant change. Players start with nothing and must gather resources, build a kingdom, and fight to survive in the hope of becoming renowned throughout the land. The game features sword combat, castle building, and epic battles. The premise is simple but interesting. You start from scratch, collecting resources, building your kingdom, and fighting to survive with the goal of becoming renowned throughout the land. Terminator Survivors is an exciting game that takes us back to the Terminator universe, where the fight for survival against machines continues. The game is set in a post-apocalyptic future, where humans struggle to survive in a world dominated by machines. You will need to build shelters, collect resources, and face constant dangers to stay alive. One of the novelties of Terminator Survivors is the ability to play with friends in cooperative mode. Work together to build bases, defend against attacks, and explore the world for resources. ExeKiller is a first-person survival and adventure game with a multiple-choice story, set in a dystopian post-apocalyptic world. The story takes place in an alternate reality, where devastated humanity struggles to deal with the effects of a massive catastrophe that turned Earth into a scorching desert. The player takes on the role of Denzel Phoenix, the ExeKiller, a bounty hunter in a world where law is rare and justice is done with one's own hands. The world of ExeKiller is a mix of beauty and danger.
Event flag for security. Uplink error.
Shit, I'm out.
Please stand.
Who were you before? Who did you love? What did you believe?
State of Decay 3 is the highly anticipated sequel to the popular open-world survival game series, set in a post-apocalyptic world infested with zombies. Survival remains the central pillar of the franchise. Players will have to deal with resource scarcity, the constant threat of zombies, and the challenges of building and maintaining a community amidst chaos. The State of Decay series has always stood out for its vast and dynamic open worlds, where player decisions have a significant impact on the story and game development.
But we'll keep your memory alive.
Ark Raiders is a shooter and survival game with elements of player versus player and environment, set in a dystopian future on Earth, devastated by a mechanized threat known as ARC. Players take on the role of raiders, fighting for survival in a colony called Speranza, where they must face both mechanical enemies and other players. The game is being developed by Embark Studios, composed of former developers from Battlefield and Star Wars Battlefront. Players can collect valuable resources on the surface, which can be used to upgrade their weapons, equipment, and abilities. Derelicts is an open-world survival and base-building game developed by Renown, a French developer. The game is set in a post-apocalyptic world, years after an ancient and enigmatic mechanism flooded the Earth with radiation. Players take on the role of a team member tasked with investigating the source of the incident. Derelicts is a sandbox survival game that combines base-building, exploration, and combat elements. Players must build and manage their bases, collect resources, craft items, and fight enemies to survive. The game also features a deep crafting system, allowing players to create a variety of items and weapons. That was the list. I hope you enjoyed it, and see you next time.